Hello, I'm Patricia Sigmund. I'm here today to talk with the amazing and trailblazing Pat Schroeder, who's going to share with us memorabilia from her decades in politics and her insights about women in politics. Talk to us about your decision to run initially for Congress and how that came to be.
Oh my goodness. Well, I had never run for anything but a bus, maybe, okay? So my husband was on this committee of young Democrats, and the guy who was going to run with the Democratic mantle was very, very retro, shall we say, very proud of being a conservative Democrat. And the incumbent was very well entrenched. He had closed down the movie I Am Curious Yellow, and he had closed down restaurants that served hippies, and he was Mr. I'm tough. So and it was also Nixon's year, so Nixon looked like he was going to have a real rout, and he did. I remember he carried every state but one. So everybody they went to run in the primary against all said no way. So one night he comes home after I've gotten the children to bed, and he says, well, guess whose name came up tonight to run? I said, I don't know. He said, yours. I said, mine? What are you talking about? He said, no, you really have to do this. You'll never win the primary, but somebody has to go talk sense. I'm like, really? And he said, yes. He said, you really should do this.
So your husband came home and he said, you're going to run for Congress.
He said, yes, and he promised me I would never win. I had great part-time jobs then, which were always hard to get. I was a part-time hearing officer for the state of Colorado when I was teaching at the college. I never gave up my jobs. I was so convinced that. So there was the primary, and I won. My average campaign contribution was $7.50 for the whole thing. Well, then once you win, you can't say, well, you know what, so, okay, now we're in the big time, here we go. I remember going to Washington, the Democratic Congressional campaign said, oh my God, you won? No, we can't, no. So nothing there. So we continued on, and again, they just assumed that there was no way that I was going to win, and I won again. And I remember that election night so well. At about 2 o'clock in the morning, my dear husband went down to the election commission. He kept saying, there's just got to be a mistake. Because it was like our whole life had just been thrown up in the air. And we decided that what we would do the next morning is pick up the 2 children and go to Disneyland. That's exactly what we did. We said, we're going to sit here and try and figure out, okay, now what do we do and how are we going to get through this? And we did. So it all happened, but it was an absolute crazy time.